Cheers. Enjoy this. Yes, welcome back to the channel. With me, Disco, coming at you with some more live beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar, which I'm catly calling the Disco Arms. And thanks, Kitski, for blocking the entire screen. Cute, isn't she? But it's not really about you, Kitty, and your cleaning habits, great though they are. It's about beer. And even though no one's here to see you, you really don't need to be there. So do you want to jump off so I can do some beers? Got me talking to a bloody cat. Kitty, wait, come on, let's go. Wait, I found. Oh, let's go. Come on in. Now I'll smash the microphone. Would you go and sit somewhere comfortable on this hard piece of wood? Kids? Hello. Yes, you. You're lovely, but you need to be over there. There you go. Yes, as I was saying, welcome to the channel. I'm Disco. I have some live beer reviews. As cute as the cat is, I probably need to put a little perch up there somewhere or something so you can just sit there and look cute. That'll be worth the views anyway. Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. A little bit late to the stream for today's Tuesday tipple. I considered not doing it, but I completely forgot there was a bit of football on this evening. Fortunately, it was an early kickoff, so otherwise we'd still be going. And it nearly went to penalty, so I was nearly even later. But unfortunately, we lost in the 94th minute, frustratingly. So I thought, well, I need a beer after that. So here we are. If you're watching after the event, and do let me know if you're looking in. I haven't set the camera up completely properly, but there you go. The cat was in the way. Well, in that case, yeah. Let's dive straight in. Probably be a short stream this one, but let's dive straight in with, if I can find it, as always. It's down here somewhere. Beer number one, please. So I haven't sorted the panel out, but there you go. Beer number one is in my never-ending quest to do beers and breweries probably nobody else has ever heard of, or maybe you have, I don't know. Do let me know if you've heard of Little Ox Brew Co. Up in Oxfordshire, and this is a nicely brightly coloured 440 can of a beer called Yabba Dabba Doo. Well, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway, something like that. Yabba Dabba Doo, 4.8% IPA. They call it, it's called an IPA, but they call it tropical, zesty, and caramel on the front of the can. I did see that, and I don't normally look at the cans to start with, but I do notice that one. Oh, wait a second, notification. Yeah, sorry, let's get this out into a glass and see what we get. Bubbles out into the glass, decent carbonation, nice head development, lots of swirly carbonation going through, quite clear for an IPA. which now I'm used to drinking hazies and whatnot. It doesn't concern me. It's just one of them things. I'm just used to hazy IPAs, I guess, and I'm fine with that. But nice carbonation, plenty of carbonation racing up the glass there. Whilst I just step off the camera. If you're not used to this, do apologise. I always step aside, get a little photograph, do my little can balance because these things amuse me. And see if I can get a decent photograph for the Instagram tomorrow. Well, probably won't be tomorrow. So I can get it up on the gram at some point. Do a written review of it. I do, again, things kind of amuse me. Yep, that one's good. Shows the head development, which is kind of staying around. It's fairly bubbly, but it's staying around. And there. So yeah, there we go. Got the can balance away. Remember to do it this time. But yeah, fairly clear. Well, clearer than I'm expecting. I can pretty much see through that. Again, not necessarily a problem. Just yeah, I suppose I'm used to drinking the hazy boys now, but it makes me wonder. I think it's a more of a typical traditional British IPA, maybe. Well, they've cleared it a little bit. Either through findings or naturally, but I can sit and watch carbonation racing like that for ages. It's like watching fire. It's kind of amusing. All right, let's have a little sniff, see what we can get over them. Actually, what a nice aroma. Plenty of fruit, but no particular hot spike. And there is a little bit of kind of caramel in there. Yeah, it's a nice kind of, I don't know, is it like kind of some kind of peach, maybe? Some burnt, not burnt, but kind of barbecued kind of peach. Plenty of fruit. Sweetness. Little floral note. It does feel like a little bit of caramel in there. Maybe that's just because I've read that on the side of the can. But anyway, that's a good start for a Tuesday tipple. Let me know if you're joining with a beer or watching after the event with a beer. Let me know down in the comments. Till then, cheers and enjoy the beers. Definite kind of caramelly, slightly toffee kind of notes. And then there's that hop spike. Thunders briefly towards grapefruit, but is rounded out by some much nicer stone fruits. The kitty. He was going for the lap and missed entirely. Bless you. Yeah. There's a very slight touch of what feels like copper penny in there, but then again, it's rounded out by that grapefruit. Quite a bit of juiciness. Kind of an edge to it. Yeah, lots of sort of grapefruit pith on the back end, but not strong. I know I was going bang on about grapefruit, but there's something there. I wouldn't call it smooth. It's definitely kind of... It's got that kind of British IPA thing that I'm not a big fan of. Feels like there's some kind of spiky British hops in there that are kind of giving it a rough edge. In amongst that kind of juiciness, there's a slight orange juice note about it, which again, I don't mind. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I know very little about Little Ox Brewery. They are, as far as I'm aware, up in Oxfordshire somewhere. I thought them as fairly craft rather than a bit more traditional British IPA kind of brewery. This is the first kind I've had from them. I picked it up at one of my local little bottle shops, same as the first stream. In fact, all three cans are from the same places as the first stream. Picked this one up on Harrow on the Hill, a little local on the hill it's called. Do lots of you know, kind of cheese, crackers, jams, etc. And have a small beer selection. Nothing too local as yet. I'm hoping to sort that out at some point. Jamie Hayden, not too bad. Well, I say not too bad. It's going better now. I've got a beer. I've calmed down a little bit. I'm in front of the camera, and I'm not as. It's been a funny old day. You know what I mean? The weather's been terrible. I haven't really been out particularly. And I was going to do a little trip this afternoon, and then I looked at the wind. I'm like, I'm not cycling in that. I can't be asked. I do enough cycling the rest of the week, so I fancy going out. And then, yeah, I didn't quite get done today what I wanted to do always round, really. I did get a video out. Don't know if anybody's seen that. Yeah, same crap, different day. Well, I do get lots of different crap on different days. It's never dull being me, but it just is a bit frustrating at times. I do like to not moan about it. That's why once I get onto the beer, I don't use beer as a kind of metaphor for chilling out generally. Sometimes if I'm like too annoyed and anxious, but I just don't drink because I don't want to feel even worse. But I do, I did fancy a beer this evening. I fancied one before the football, but I forgot about it. Superb stuff. It's not compulsory. It's very, very short. It's not one that will help you sleep because it's kind of so short. It was just a little shout out to Spenno of the Spencer Arms on my part in helping him achieve 1,000 subscribers, although shortly after I did a couple of others, decided that wasn't good enough and left, so he's back down to 998. So I'll put links to the videos at the end, and go and click on Spenno and give him a sub, at least till he gets over 1,000, and you can always unsub if you're not that bothered. But he does some good beer reviews from a quite frankly fantastic garden pub shed. Looks great. Does a lot of local beers and a lot of supermarket stuff, as well as some unusual and interesting as also the mainstream stuff. Well, there you go. Joining me for a beer. Good of you, jolly good. Hope you enjoy it, whatever you get. Yeah, I struggle to remember what I've got in sometimes. I've got far too much. Managed not to order any more beers this week, which is good so far. Although I did get given some on Sunday, so that's good. Where was I? Yeah, so Spenno, yeah. I did do a cheeky thing of unsubscribing and waiting for the numbers to go up to 999 before I subbed. But yeah, I'll explain why and all that on the video. And includes a beer review, just a quick one. And might do some more stuff there as well. I'm not sure about this beer. There's a little bit more orange juice coming through now. Just that kind of zestiness thing going on. Let's have a little look, because I'm intrigued by this. It is unusual in a way. It is a departure from all those kind of hoppy, hazy kind of grapefruit numbers I'm always moaning about. But 4.8%. This juicy IPA will deliver waves of passion fruit. I never get passion fruit, really. I did say peach and citrus flavors from the finest American hops, fair enough, on a backbone of soft caramel malt, low bitterness, that's true, big on flavor, very Moorish. It says, at Little Ox, we like to shake up the traditional to produce modern, exciting beers that lift your spirits. Well, oddly, it has, because it has done exactly that. I was just saying the very same thing, feeling a bit meh. And then here we are, got a beer on, feeling a bit better now. Especially if some of you are joining me. Top of the morning, sir. Thank you very much indeed for checking in. Hope you're having a good week, even though it's only Tuesday. Hope you've had some good beer or planning to. Either or, not compulsory, but yeah. Thanks for popping along. I'm just doing some beer I picked up locally in a local bottle shop. I kind of like to feature these things. You know, I think I'm doing good works, but nobody. It's not necessarily that anybody's going to get to this beer, but if you see Little Ox about, then you never know. Heard it here first. That's the kind of deal. Canned on 8th of September 25. And I think I only picked it up middle of October, so it's still fairly fresh as best before 8th of June 26. So look at me doing fresh beers again. I say tastes fairly fresh, to be fair. It's got that kind of nice citrus note. Yeah, it's still got that kind of sort of toffee aroma and a little bit on the taste. I think it's a passion fruit. I'm never sure about passion fruit. I never really out and out get it. And if you eat anything passion fruit, I always find if you eat a passion fruit, I always find the pips are kind of a bit kind of bitter and slightly woody. And I think that comes through in beers a little bit with passion fruit. So I'm never sure about it. Definitely feels like a bit of charred peach, and for me, a touch of orange. Touch of orange pith. But there you go. Let's have a quick look. I do like to look on the website, even though I haven't actually set it up. Let's do that first. Yeah, so Little Oxford in Witney, just outside Oxford. A place in Oxford I have actually been, mainly because it's got a Wetherspoons. Not an outstanding or amazing place particularly, but if I remember rightly, Witney is where Hobgoblin were, or rather used to be, certainly where the brewery is. Obviously they got taken over, and I'm not even sure they do much brewing there anymore. So taken over from them, I guess, is Little Ox. Passion and innovation come together to create exceptional craft beer. Every brewery says that. We're not just a brewery, we're a small dedicated team with a big vision. Our mission is to bring people together through the love of beer and challenge the boundaries of traditional brewing. Every brewery say that. I say that. And I'm bringing people together through the medium of beer. Some nice can art going on in these guys. Oh, worst behaviour. See that one on the right, the Marzen Fest beer. Did I not? I'm sure I picked up another beer called Worst Behaviour the other day. Obviously, beer names can often be duplicated, but as these things amuse me, I did say I wasn't going to buy any more beers. Yes, Hackney Church's Worst Behaviour is what I picked up last week for Stout. A 5.9% Fest beer, whereas Little Ox have a 4.5% Fest beer. Let's have a look at some more. Whether I'll, yeah, see if I can pick some of that up. I do like doing side by sides of beers with the same name. Kind of amuses me. Seasonable Doubt and Amber Ale. See, Little Ox have gone above and beyond here. So, as I'm always saying about kind of branding, I love a brewery logo and a brewery name right on the front and center of the can. Beer name, fairly easy to read. Beer style plus the ABV. And Little Ox have gone above and beyond and have put kind of a bit more information on underneath as well, telling you about the beer, which I'm all for, to be fair. Gluten-free beers. That's not in the town of Witney. That's well out of Witney. Oxford Bus Museum. Where's Witney then? Sorry, just doing a bit of geography. I don't think that's Witney. Anyway, sorry, trying to do geography. But yeah, that seems to be all they have there at the moment. Oh no, might know a bit more in the shop. That's good. Dark and seedy, a stout, and Hufflepuff. Yabba Dabba Doo. Some barrel age stuff going on as well. D1 for Oxford United, a lager. See if that first behaviour is still on there. Seasonal doubt, is it Underworld? Oh no, I've got 2 other beers called. No, I haven't got Underworld. Insomnia is 2 beers I've got. And the worst behaviour is on there. Say. Shouldn't be ordering any more beer, but there is options and possibilities there for sure. But yeah, some nice stuff there from Little Ox up in Oxfordshire. Yabba Dabba Do. I think if Slurpy Dave were here, is the obvious joke about the people of Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do. So I won't do that one because I'll leave it for Slurpy if he pops in. Cheers. Favourite Flintstones jokes, of course, form the bedrock of my comedy. Yeah, so it's starting to become a little more pithy on the back end now. There is a little squeeze of grapefruit juice in there as well. A little bit drying, not too much pine. Reasonably good lacing on the glass. I still haven't bought any lemonade, but it's not as bad enough to shandy, but yeah, it's getting a bit more cloying on the grapefruit there now on the back end. Easy enough to drink. It's not troubling me any. Like I said, I didn't have a beer yesterday. Didn't do a stream yesterday. Again, didn't really feel like it. Not particularly heavy weekend. A few beers on Sunday at doing a quiz. At some point, I should do a quiz. At some point, I've got all the questions to do, but I'm not sure if everybody would participate. It would just end up me reading a bunch of questions. But do let me know if you fancy a bit of a quiz. I've got a whole bunch of rounds. I don't know if they're good or not, but I'll let you tell me. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, not a bad little drop. That caramel note kind of lingers. Is a little bit unusual in a kind of IPA, but being that it's mildly hopped, it doesn't clash too much. I'm not using the term balance because there's kind of outliers there between that kind of caramel note and the sort of slight hop spike, like say, charges briefly towards grapefruit and then settles down a bit with the kind of peach and stone fruity notes. That passion fruit kind of slight bitterness. But definitely lots of fruit and juice knocking around. Yeah, then it's got that grapefruit pith and a kind of squeeze of grapefruit juice. It troubles my palate, but isn't too bad. I'm just looking at a cat because she's about to be an idiot, I think. Anyway. Yeah, so that's beer number 1, 4.8% Yabba Dabba Do from Little Ox Brew Co. up in Whitney in Oxford. Not a bad little start. But I'm going to have to do a little palate cleanse, get the water out and wash that grapefruit away before the next one, I think. Solid IPA, you IPA fans. I say it feels more like a British IPA. Did we say the hops? No, it didn't. Here we go. I didn't scroll down far enough. Yep, there we go. It even says all the other information on the website, which is always good. I like that. Marisota, Munich and Dextrin. Hops, oh dear. Citra, Mosaic and Cascade. Well, they've managed to keep Citra and Cascade reasonably in check. I guess the Mosaic rounds it out into the fruity notes, and the Citra is there on that kind of grapefruity stuff. 4.8. 4.8 out of 5. That's on something called Real Reviews, not Untapped by the looks of it. But yeah, I mean, I don't do numbers, but it feels like a solid beer, nicely put together. Lots of interesting flavors, something a bit different, I guess. Not entirely my thing with that grapefruit, but I can see that it's a decent beer, a bit of lacing on there, so it feels all right. Let's crash headlong directly in to the traditional way of beer number 2, please. Beer number 2, we're going west, in fact, even further west than Oxford. We're over to Bristol for New Bristol Brewery, and this is their 5.5% Northern IPA. Not that it matters, but I do like to have the right name on there. Valley of Lights. Yeah, so another IPA. Look at me smashing 2 IPAs and fairly fresh ones at that. Full disclosure, I've actually had this one before. More about that in just a second. Yeah, so let's get this into a glass. Remind myself, it's only a couple of weeks ago I put this can up. Not even that. It was last week, I think, wasn't it? I'll check on Instagram in a moment. When I wandered up, cycled hard, several miles down the road to a little bar called the Hop and Vine. I talked about them before. I did it last week, obviously, on the stream 2 weeks ago. And then I went back there and I had this on tap and then picked up a can of it. So, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago where I picked up that coconut IPA from Otherworld. And this time I had this on tap. So I thought, you know what, I'll do the same again. See if I can use it for a stream at some point. And what do you know, here we are. Thought, well, might as well. Let's get a bit of light out of the way. Yeah, that's the best way I find doing breweries that put vertical can names. It should be like that, shouldn't it? So I can see it. Fine. Double can balance, what do you know? What do you know? Hey Mark, how are we doing, sir? Your Wi-Fi is about as blurry as Plymouth FC. Well, yeah. I hate that because on my screen it looks absolutely spot on perfect and I've got absolutely no way of dealing with it, doing anything about it, or even knowing unless you tell me. So thanks for letting us know. Good evening. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully, I don't know, let's blame the weather. But yeah, thanks for looking in. I hope you got a beer on or something like that. I hope you had a good week. Yes, we have not lost in the 94th minute today. Another beer with loads of carbonation racing up the glass, which I quite like to see. It amuses me. And in fact, in the Hop and Vine, when I had a pint of this, a keg beer, that was even more so. Never did anything with the video, and I had a great little video, right, a close up of the close up of the carbonation absolutely racing up the glass on this one. So it's kind of fairly similar. Nice head development. It seems to be sticking around, hasn't dissipated. And that's not even nucleated glass. I can't remember if the nucleate the glass I had at Hop and Vine was in fact nucleated, but it was absolutely storming up the glass. Let's see. What I forgot to do was upload it, and then I'll see if I can upload it and see if I can show you. It was vertical, but yeah, looks all right. Again, quite kind of see-through. Again, the previous one was fairly kind of opaque, slightly orange. This one is much more kind of straw coloured. Had a few things out of Bristol Beer Factory. Generally good stuff. Quite a lot of Poppyish IPA, so I've not raced towards them, but they have a disco beer, I think is why I bought them. Before my nose blocks up, let's have a little sniff. From what I remember last time, there's plenty of fruitiness going on, kind of verging on lemon, and I'm getting that a little bit again now. Yeah, there's a gentle kind of citrus note, kind of lemonish, which again works for me. If I'm going to go citrus, tends to go lemon, orange, lime in that way, or in that order. Repeated several times before we get to grapefruit. So should be a good one. Cheers. Enjoy the beers. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird. There's a kind of lemon note in it, but a bit of grapefruit on the back end. It's a really odd mix of citrus, this one. Feels a bit creamy, which is not a bad thing, but doesn't quite get as far as lemon meringue pie. It's just got that kind of gentle citrus note, not particularly pithy or anything, just predominantly lemon and a touch of grapefruit juice around the back. But also, yeah, kind of slightly milky creaminess, which is kind of odd, I think, from the foam mostly, rather than the body of the beer particularly. And there's a very nice touch of earthiness in that citrus. Yeah, I think obviously I'm drinking in bloody November. See, end of October, November last week. But yes, I think in the summer. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. I popped over to the Hop and Vine. So I had a pint of this and picked up the can. But yeah, definitely more of a summer hit. But also that kind of, I don't know, that creaminess feels like it's a kind of, it feels like a touch of lemongrass in there as well. So it's a kind of, not quite barrel aging, but a slight kind of lemon cellos, kind of slightly spirity, warmy edge kind of thing. But yeah, ice cold in the summer, spot on. I enjoyed it last week. I'm kind of enjoying it again now. The lemon kind of breaks through and takes over the citrus baton from the grapefruit, but it still feels a little bit in there. See if I've got this right. No, I haven't got it right. Oh, I can't show it. I don't know where it's gone. Well, there you go. That shows it. It's like an explosion. See the carbonation just exploding out the bottom of the glass. And again, big, thick, creamy head like today. So, yeah, I was quite, I don't know, like I said earlier on the first one, I could sit and watch the carbonation racing up the glass. Easily amused, I guess, me. Yeah. Let's have a quick look, see what we get from New Bristol. If not, I'll go to the website and see if they got hops and stuff on there. Couldn't guess the hops, but wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a bit of something unusual in there. Potentially a bit of lemon drop. We're back in the valleys of the north, with the fresh out the industry style. Northern IPA. Are they making their own style up here, Bristol? What is a Northern IPA? Mark, you might be able to help on this one. Is there such a thing as a Northern IPA? Or have they just made it up? I don't know. I've not heard of it myself. I say, Aurora yeast brings a unique kick, a floral European spice. That's not Northern. Anyway, Centennial and Motueka build on the signature style with spice undertones and a touch of lemon, lime, citrus. Crisp and clean Northern IPA. Well, that's good that they give that information. I love it. Centennial or Motueka. Slightly odd combination, but best before easily printed on the bottom. 9th of the 4th, 2026. Look at me drinking fresh IPAs again. Sorry, you missed that one, Shark. Yeah, so I don't know what Northern IPA is. It's not a style I've ever heard, and I don't know why that kind of lemon and lime note particularly goes with Northern. I assume they mean Northern UK, but I could be entirely wrong. I'm not sure what they refer to as Northern in that case. Printed can. Was it? Is it a wrap? No, printed can. A lot of breweries now going to printed cans. It's a bit like a Thornbridge kind of can, but no, definitely a Bristol Beer Factory. Slightly harsh, slightly rough edge on that citrus, but very definitely lemon. Touch of lime. A small amount of grapefruit for me, but I kind of always say that, I guess. Let's have a quick look at New Bristol. That's probably why the internet is looking terrible, because it always does that when I go. Well, it always used to do that, but for the last couple of months, it was okay. So I don't know if it's gone back to just being terrible when I come out of looking at another website or not. If anybody knows. That's terrible. We'll have to cut that out. Not New Bristol. How did I manage to nose that up? Bristol Beer Factory. Oh my God, what did I put on Instagram? Oh, but Jesus. Oh, fucking hell. What a fucking idiot. What an absolute fucking idiot. I'm going to edit it out pretty fucking quick. Not New Bristol. Don't know why I thought it was New Bristol. It is indeed a Bristol beer factory. Unbelievable. Sorry, Bristol Beer Factory. Very quickly edit that one. Nobody noticed, fortunately. If you did notice, put it in the comments below. Bristol Beer Factory, not New Bristol. Easy mistake to make. But you'd think I'd know what I was doing by now, wouldn't you? That's the sort of day I've had, to be honest. Just minor details have not gone right. I've said half of the milk stout just for old time's sake because it's the one I remember from Bristol Beer Factory when I remember the name properly. That was nice and lush. Never got around to doing the review or putting a photograph off or anything like that. Or this one, in fact. I only went there for a pint of Imperial and I got that. Oh, espresso martini. Hello. Boom. Nice. 5 pages of stuff on the shop. Destination Mars. Surely that's a caramel stout, not an IPA. Disco Park, of course, can I mention that? Had that one a couple of disco days ago. It wasn't my favourite, but I do like the artwork. And I've never got the video out of that. I'll get around to that at some point. There's a lot of cans on here, isn't there? Actually, there's not. You can't buy them in singles. That's sold out. Rockstar Breakfast. Stone Fruit Hops. Not really. Not for me. It do annoy me when the breweries do that. Just if it's sold out, take it off, put it in an archive section so we're not all confused as to what it is. Sell of a brewery, they've got a lot of tanks there. If you've toured us, you may spot that we bought a legacy 5,000 litre tanks with us. That's a legacy tank. They're starting 100 litre tanks or 500 litre tanks, 5,000 litre tanks. We've also got several shiny new tanks of an impressive size, 15,000 litres. Yes, that's quite a big brewery. It takes 2 hours to do a tour. That is huge. Obviously, they've been going a fair while. But that is, massive. I don't think they're 15,000 litres. They're the 5,000s, I think. Since April 2025, we've been brewing at a new premises in Ashton Vale, just a kilometre down the road from the original site on North Street South. Ashton Vale is near the football ground, I think, isn't it? Where you'll still find a tap room. Ashton Gate Stadium, there you go. Bristol City, of course. Between Bristol's favourite alcohol-free IPA, Clearhead, supporting local charity and a newest lager We had simply outgrown the tanks, not to mention the Victorian brewhouse we once called home was not built with sustainability in mind. Installing modern practice and upgrading equipment is a vital step towards net zero. Fair play. I'm sure I've had Bristol Beer Factory beers as long as goes. 6-7 years ago, last couple of visits to Bristol. It's like a lot of casks as well. But yeah, New Bristol Bristol Beer Factory, not New Bristol Brewery. Mr. Wilson, thanks for popping in. I hope you're having a good week so far. And the beers are flowing if you've got one on. Yeah, so nice summery beers. Warming up a little bit now, but I still got that kind of slightly savoury edge to it. Slightly lemongrass. But yeah, generally lemon, touch of lime, squeeze of grapefruit going on. Fair quality on the beer. It's a decent lacing and layering from each mouthful. A nice thick creamy head, same as happened on the pint glass in the Hop and Vine. Yeah, Hop and Vine, good little place to get lots of far and wide beers. Some unusual ones, some a lot of stuff you've probably not necessarily heard of. Even I haven't heard of some of the stuff they had on there. Some of the breweries. See, the week before it was from Otherworld from Scotland. This week it was Bristol Beer Factory. They have their Bristol Beer Factory milk stout on quite a lot. This one, I fairly smashed that one down, the pint of it anyway, at the Hop. This one feels a little bit more, it's like the grapefruit is kind of overtaken slightly. It's a bit more piffy now and a bit more almost cloying. No pine particularly, but that kind of slightly bitter grapefruit pith going on. But yeah, superb creamy head, nice bit of lacing going on. Don't get to the Hop and Vine enough as much as I used to. Anyway, it is literally only down pretty much a straight road from outside my house. But it takes a bit to get over there these days, what with one thing and another. But they do have a good board, at least 4 keg lines usually, and 5 or 6, at least 4 cask lines and 5 or 6 keg and a couple of ciders on as well. And only a double fridge, but have some fair interesting stuff in it. Like I say, I picked up last time with Sure Shot. And I say they have that on usually keg, I think. Wow, you're heading in early. No waiting, no messing. Straight on to the Caribbean chocolate Christmas cake. Fair play. I presume is that Cannes or you at a venue somewhere. I thought that was Friday release. You got some early, or maybe it's just again another not so local-ish bar. The Dodo, I think, are doing that on Friday. I thought maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is today. But yeah, if you got some ahead of time, superb. I haven't even looked at Caribbean Chocolate Cake Series this year, and I didn't last year particularly. I had the tiramisu orange one after the event. I mean, I probably should, and I probably will do long after the event. I just won't be rushing out for it. So it's pretty cool that you've got on ahead of time, or pretty much bang on time, depending on which way you look at it. But that does sound good. You know, I don't mind a Christmas cake stout. Bit of rum and raisin going on, I would think. A bit of spicy, some cinnamon, something like that. Sounds good. Yeah, enjoy that one. Is that a big beer for a Tuesday night? How big is the Caribbean Chocolate Cake Series this year? Hadn't even. I should have a look, really. It's throwing up all sorts at me. Well, their website's changed a bit. Kitty. No, not on there. Come this way. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, what? Don't be a dick. Go on, sit on there. Good girl. Yeah, you didn't say Dave at the start. At the start, she was sat right there. I think she was to go back and sit on a perch. I'm going to have to get her a perch or something. Ah, right. Last year's one. Fair play. I was going to say, other than that, you've got absolute steel on it. Yes, Friday. Yeah, planning to do 4 on Saturday. Superb. A 12.2%. Awesome. Fun enough, I've got a 12% coming up and the next one. So let's crash through onto that one and we can do a 12% beer together for a Tuesday night. Why not? I've only got to be up and into work tomorrow at 10 o'clock to do some brewing. But fuck it, it's a Tuesday, isn't it? Who cares? Plenty smashable on that one, but kind of slightly grapefruit. It's getting a little bit more pine now. Lots of lemon pith going on. A good squeeze of lemon. That kind of the creaminess is dissipating a little bit as well. It's definitely more kind of lemongrass, kind of a bit of savoury note going on. It's getting harder. I think in the pint, as I say, showing that pint, which is reasonably easy drinking, but it kind of it's kind of getting a little bit harsher and a little bit more savoury now. Blue Nose, good evening to you. Yeah, doing our best to get in on the screen. But yeah, Blue Nose, how you doing? So be having a good week and maybe got a beer on. I'm a couple of beers deep after a usual, not unexpected disappointment in the football this evening. But there we go. Such is life. As I was saying earlier, I was feeling a bit meh today. So I put the stream up. Then I realised there was football on. So fortunately, it was an early kickoff. Went to watch it, and then came back and I thought, so I'll do it anyway. Do the beers anyway because I kind of feel like a beer now. And this is these two. Again, look at me drinking fresh IPAs. This one's getting a bit more grapefruity now. As I did a thing at the end of the pint, but because that was so well carbonated, like I just showed, and all that fizz. But it didn't come across as fizzy. It was just in the glass. It was a bit of a show. This one obviously much more dissipated now in the pint glass. Last week, I think it was fairly fizzy all the way to the end, but I had a few pints of Milson down the tap. Now on some Manchester brewery I don't recognise, an American Brew. Jolly good. I say that about Cloudwater all the time. I just don't drink their beers. No reason. Absolutely no reason. But look at me, what I know. What do I know? I couldn't even get the name of this brewery right at the start of the stream. It is very definitely Bristol Beer Factory. For me, it is a nice, solid, well put together beer. Nice bit of lacing on the glass with that big creamy head. Head retention is fantastic. But yeah, so it feels like a bit more. It's definitely a nice kind of sweet lemon flavour, and then a touch of savoury, and then it goes slightly cloying at the end, slight grapefruit kind of note going on, slightly pithy, and slightly drying towards the end. But a good beer, I think. Good beer. and fairly smashable. So let's do that. Get on to beer 3. Solid. Absolutely solid. So, yeah. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, let's do this. Can't drive the bloody thing now. Where's it gone? There it is. See, StreamYard, if you could just put it back in the boxes where it was, it would be much more smooth and streamlined and professional process rather than clicking this and not really getting it in the right timing. Beer number 3, please. Thank you. So, talking about a 12% stout, I've got a 12% stout to finish. Fortunately, in a 330 can, which I think is a good idea since I've got to be at work and brewing at 10 in the morning. But a 12% coconut and cinnamon roll Imperial milk stout from Brew York. I think it's a collab. I can't actually read who it's from. I'll get a magnifying glass out in a minute. Let me try and get rid of that grapefruit and lemon thing going on because I don't think it will sit really well with cinnamon roll. Kind of keen for this one because, you know, I like a adjuncty stout. Again, coconut. Probably won't get coconut, as I found the other week with that Underworld one, the coconut IPA. Can't really get it. But yeah, a little 12% job. Yeah, I know. I'm not showing off in any way, but I am not a morning person. We are not morning people. So 10 o'clock is a kind of a fair compromise. It does require an occasionally late finish. I'm not sure what I'm even brewing tomorrow, to be honest, until I get there. So yeah, I don't mind a slightly later finish. Because it means we just have a beer and wait for the transfer to happen and play some Skittles or some Toads. So yeah, 10 is a 10 I'm comfortable with. You know, I am not a morning person. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do a balance on a 330. I can't remember if I ever have on the show. And yeah, I am part-time anyway because 2 days off. 3. 2.5 days off. Yeah, so lovely bubble into the glass. Starts off looking fairly oily, gloopy, and then goes a bit thin. Coca-Cola-like. Shall I do? Let's see if we can do it. I don't think I've ever done a can balance on a 330, but well, looks like I have now. So there we go. We'll take it. We'll take a can balance on a 330 for the photo. Thank you as always for the reminder, Mr. Wilson. Just put the screen down, not too far. Nose is just about behaving itself. Let's see if I've got that in focus. Oh yeah, that's gone all right. I think. Yeah, that's a picture. I like that one. That's gone all right. First time as well. Stay. Oh, excuse me. So good head development, but it looks like it's dissipated slightly. Should be okay though, but for 12%, should be fairly easy to come back. So yeah, very clearly on the front of the can. Coconut and cinnamon roll Imperial milk stout. Nicely sessionable at 12%. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. 440 is probably a little too much. Won't stop me trying though. I'm not either a morning person, Fortunate to say, and decided I'm not about brewing today. Ended up trying to work out how to fit 150 pallets into a unit that only has racking for 20. Yeah, I can that. Absolutely. At the best of times, our fridge cellar is basically like a game of Tetris Jenga. Trying to balance, well, not balance, trying to get stack stuff and get it into the right size. 150 pallets only has racking for 20. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting stack. But for a man of your caliber, I think I could do it as well. Yeah, that was a surprisingly easy can balance. I was a bit shocked at that. But yeah, there we go. Love a can balance. Now I've started them again. All right, let's have a little sniff of this, see what we get. Has anybody had this one? Yeah, nice cocoa notes. It's verging on that slightly vegetal note that some kind of heavy chocolatey stouts have. But it also smells very, very kind of spirity. Like the alcohol lacing on that. Easily invigorated head development, although it dissipates again fairly quickly but sticks on the edge. So it's looking R8. Yeah. Cheers. Lovely sweetness. Lots of chocolate on there. Kind of slightly fruity kind of spirity edge to it. It feels like a lot of sugar dusting, kind of cinnamon roll, like icing sugar kind of dusting going on. I don't know. I always say I don't get coconut, but it does feel like there's a merest hint of desiccated coconut in that. It's probably not, but that's what it kind of comes out like, that kind of sort of fruit bun with coconut on top. So there is a little bit in there. More the most coconut I've tasted for a long while, but even then, not a lot. I just don't get coconut, but it feels more like it's that kind of sweet, kind of assimilated coconut. Sugar strands more than actual coconut. I've got a Brew York in my advent calendar. Thankfully, it's a mystery beer calendar, and I have forgotten what they are. Yeah, I think I nearly commented on Maggie's stream the other day. Once again this year, I will not be doing advent calendars. I will just buy beer that I actually want to drink and try not to do much of that because I've still got far too much in the stash. But I do like the way Harry does it, to be fair. Wrap them up, forget about them, and sort of almost mystery beer at each time. And I do need to do some mystery beers. I've been thinking about doing that for some time, and I've got an idea of how to do it. But yeah, that's a good way of doing mystery beers. Just bungalow together, wrap it up, forget about it. God, it's only November. I don't want to think about advent calendars until at least the 1st of December. Or preferably the 1st of January, where they're all cheap and on sale. But yeah, I won't be getting an advent calendar because I've got far too many beers. I probably won't be doing an advent calendar series. I did try to do it a few years back and just completely ran out of time. So I don't think I'll even do like a video a day in December. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time when it's not December. So although I suppose we'll have a little bit more time in December. We'll be doing a little bit less things and stuff, maybe work-wise. I'd expect. Well, I'm doing 4 days a week now. I was generally expect to go down to 3. But if we carry on doing 3-day weekends at the bar, then maybe I won't. It's slightly part-time outfit, and I am part-time by most standards, and I'm kind of happy with that. I'm kind of fine because I do like my Monday mornings off. I do like my Tuesdays off. Although next week I think I am working Monday or Tuesday for logistical reasons. Hello. Hey. Kids. Yeah, fucky. Oh, she ignored the shoulder. This was a toasted coconut ice cream at the cinema earlier with lots of coconut. Fair play. Yeah, I don't mind. Actual coconut, fine. I love coconut. I just never really taste it in beer. It just doesn't taste like coconut to me. Don't know why. Kitty. What? Hello, Dove Cat. Hello. Just jumped off anyway. I don't get it from Talus, but Sabro, yeah, let's have a look. Don't know. I like Brew York's cans because they have a lot of information. I just can't read them. Says, all right, partner, keep on rolling. And baby, you know what time it is. Brewed in collaboration with legendary Liverpool-based craft beer bar, Dead Crafty Beer Co. Don't know them, but never mind. Cinnamon Rollin is a decadent Imperial milk stout packed with toasted coconut, rich chocolate, and warming cinnamon spice. Sweet, creamy, and unapologetically bold, this stout brings the flavour like Fred brings the fire. So grab your red cap, turn it backwards, and tell us what you're going to do now. Don't know what that's a reference to. Malt, it tells you the malt bill, but not the hops as far as I can tell. Pale malt, flake barley, malted oats, crystal 150, special beer and carafa 3. Guile LW 196, best before 8th of May 2027. Of course. No, just the adjuncts there. Lactose, coconut, vanilla, cinnamon. Doesn't actually say what the hops and yeast are, to be fair. Yeah, I'm not even sure they need a lot of hops in that, to be honest. The craft is very good. Need to remortgage the house after a visit, though. I must have heard of them at some point. Some people talking about them, but yeah, it seems like obviously, I guess Brew York put a lot of stuff in there. It's a really nice beer. Really nice beer. I don't feel it needs to be 12%. I always say that a lot. There's definitely plenty in it. Packs a punch. Big spirity edge. Lots of booziness. Slightly rough kind of cinnamon edge to it. Really, really nice sweetness. Merest touch of coffee and even less chocolate going on, to be honest. I think, yeah, it feels like some kind of desiccated coconut covered donut going on. Which again I like. I've said this before, I've never really found a beer that's too sweet for me. I don't mind the sweetness. It does bother some people, but I really don't mind the sweetness. I like sweet things as much as I like savoury things, just like food. Just like beer, you know. Yeah, a little bit of kind of chocolate donut on the nose still. Touch of brown sugar going on. I'm not quite sure what the spirity edge. It's not a pronounced spirity edge. Like sometimes they'll say like it's like rum or something, but it's just a strong alcohol note rather than being any particular spirit. It's got maybe it's like a chocolate liqueur kind of thing, maybe. But yeah, the coat. Oh, bear me a sec. Sorry, bloody nose, isn't it? Defecated coconut. It does. Yeah. It sounds like something I would have said at like 8 or something. But no, yeah, no, desiccated coconut is definitely what are those? We have a local bakery. I say not that local anymore. Actually, talking about locally sourced stuff, but yeah, we have a local bakery called Wenzel's. They're throughout northwest London and some of the southeast. They're like the northwest London equivalent of Greg's, but they have that kind of bun with coconut sugar strands on. I don't really eat them that much, but I can't remember what they're called. But that's where I say desiccated coconut sugar strands. Like I say, some kind of bun or yeah, I suppose a cinnamon roll with desiccated coconut on it. Yeah, I definitely think you'd like it. It's worth a look out. I think it's like, definitely if you see it on tap or whatever, it's worth a third. It is strong. It is strong. It tastes all of that 12% going on, which I like, There's a slight thinness to it, but all those flavors kind of cover that. And there is a slight kind of chocolatey. There's a slight thinness, but there's also like a quite chocolate milkiness going on. So that it all kind of covers that, and then you've got all the flavors there. Oh, the sweetness! It's sort of one that makes me go, I'm just gonna like chill with it, I'm just gonna like, whoa. I have to no, you're right. Me and Mr. Wilson kind of agree with that. I think I like the fact they do it 330s. I find 440mm a real slog. When it's an impy, I think I may internally be 74. Nah, I don't think so. I think I don't know. I mean, it depends how you drink, doesn't it? I mean, I like to have several different beers. You could probably just have a pint of this, and that's it. That's all you need for the end of the day because it's proper strong. It's got some. There are some like sub 10% beers that don't really feel like a 10% because it's all about the flavor. This is all about the flavor, but there's also it feels strong without having a specific spirity edge. A lot of sub 10% beers have that. I always call it a kind of spirity kind of, even like a there's some double IPAs and tippers have that kind of like vodka orange juice spirity edge going on. Stouts for me will have like some kind of rum or maybe it's a little bit of bourbon perhaps thinking about it because there's a slight kind of bourbony woody note going on. Not much smokiness particularly, but yeah, exactly. I mean, because there's so much beer about. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to session like a sub 10% beer, I'm going to want it to be proper smooth, probably a milk stout that you can just, swim through. I want something loopy and like, with that strength. So if you're in a place that's only got maybe like 5 taps, then yeah, four regular beers and something 12 is fine. But yeah, very much several different beers. Just it's what it's all about, isn't it? You got to try. There's so much choice available. That's kind of what you want. Like I say, my local there, where I got that Bristol Beer Factory one from, always has 4 casks on, and 5 or 6 keg plus a cider. We were talking about it, funny enough, when I was in there drinking this the other week. It's like do people just come in and go from top to bottom? This random customer asked. And I'm like, well, I see that as a challenge. I'm like, well, I'm going to try and do that one and just drink the whole board. Pints or halves, I'm not sure. He does pints and halves. I don't think he does thirds or anything like that. Pints or halves, it's like I could do it on halves, but 8 pints. But he has fairly sessionable ones and doesn't have a big impy. But like say, if you go to somewhere like that place in Liverpool, I bet they have some big beers as well. Right, so Harry, you think you've got problems being 74. I now find it very difficult knocking the half century to get through a stream of 3 beers without needing a piss, which is quite embarrassing, but there you go. I drink by third whenever possible. I did start that for a while, and Rasco's of the same opinion, so that you can get through the beer board. I think you're right. A third will give you a fair indication of the beer and get you to get through different ones. I'm still very much a pint man, and then maybe finish on a half stout. But I don't disagree with you. I think a third is a good thing. Certainly, if you're at a beer festival, I'll tend to go on halves. To be fair, I'm seeing that a lot actually. Harry, local tap tends to be sessionable beers. You do a lot of it nowadays. Certainly at the Hop and Vine there is under 5%, which I think gives a good grounding of what a lot of people want in a session. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having the occasional 7 or 8%. I think people will bite. But what bars want to do is get through a keg, in a week rather than certainly a cask. I can understand not having cask. A high ABV just doesn't sell. But I guess bar owners kind of know what they can get through. To be fair, high ABV tends to be cans. Because they can sit there for longer. But I think if you've got a keg of something high ABV, I mean we've got 7.5%, like I say, 7.5% honey pale ale on the bar at the moment, and it's, to be fair, it's shifted. It has shifted, so much so that we put some more in tank the other week. I don't think it will last. I don't think it will last until the new batch is ready. But a 7.5% honey pale ale, we do have people rocking up, and from midday and having a pint of it. They might only have 1 or 2. And you do have to be a bit careful and suggest to people, be careful with it. It's dangerously drinkable, but it's as a pale ale at that percentage, it's the same as having a dipper in it, basically. But generally bars will go that kind of 5%, 4-5% mark. That's what punters want. Fridays want 6 impy. Well, that's a special occasion, really, isn't it? 6 impies seem insane to me now. Yeah, but we're talking thirds, I guess. 6 thirds. What? Yeah, it's 2 pints, isn't it? Nothing. Really? Be flying on 2 pints of impy? I mean, well, I think that's the Caribbean chocolate cake. I'm guessing is what Mr. Wilson's talking about. So I don't know what they are this year. Tappies keg admittedly do have 6.7% glass house track collab. Fair play. Yeah, I mean we get glass house. Oh, I say we down the Hop and Vine where I got this one from is there's the occasional glass house. A fair bit of sure shot, but I think the more sessionable stuff he rarely goes up to 6 or 7, stuff like that. I should point out the one where I got this one from, again, because it's the same set as the previous local beers set that I did. This one was from Rasco's local, so not my local. I say none of them are particularly local, but from Rasco's local in Croydon, the Art and Craft. I just saw it in the fridge and I'm like, oh yeah, do it. So I've no idea what I paid for it. Probably a bit over the odds, but whatever. Support your locals, you know what I mean? Don't complain about the price. But I think I've got my money's worth here. I think that's a good, probably a tenner's worth. Because it's got all those nice flavours. It's got that lovely sweetness and a bit of kind of spirity edge to it. Yeah, nice. I suppose I haven't been in an out craft place for a while. That doesn't really count. So I haven't gone to town on impies for a while. Well, yeah, I mean, it is. Well, it depends where you go, and it depends what you want to do for a night out. I say I haven't been to an out craft place for a lot. I was going to go today, actually. I was going to have a little bike ride, but I think that might have to wait till next week. So a couple of places kind of opened up. Again, where I am in West London, I mean, it's like different for where you are, Harry. But where I am in West London, there's a little bit of a beer desert around here kind of thing. Northwest London, more so. There's a couple of places, I think, open like bars rather than tap rooms. But yeah, so there's a couple of bars opened up. One up at Wembley Stadium that I might have a little toddle up to because I'm only like 4 miles away, something like that. It'll change in pre-order. Yeah, you'll be getting some impies there. Yeah, enjoy a little trip to the Scandinavian region. Seen the descriptions of where you're going. It sounds like a really good trip, to be fair. I'd have to save up for much longer to be going there, but yeah, Piala. I actually used Omnipolo in a quiz question on Sunday because I also used Tuol as well because the round I always put a cheese round. This month's cheese round was cheese or breweries, so I put Tuol and a Danish cheese together, and Omnipolo was a. I thought about putting Piala because it sounds like it could be a cheese. No idea what we're getting, but got some good ones, great ones. Okay, yeah. Hey, Jack! Thanks for charging in and taking over the chat. Hi, Jack. Piala sounds like an illness. Well, funny enough, I also did a round on cheese or disease, and I found a few odd-sounding diseases that sounded like they could be cheese. But yeah, welcome back, Jack. Thanks for popping in. All-powerful chicken brew. Yes, literally, that's what it comes from. I was researching this when I looked at Piala for putting in the quiz round. No, Omnipolo, sorry. Yeah, it comes it is based on the Italian for chicken, I think, Polo. Not all powerful, but omnipotent. Chicken everywhere. Well, it is now, isn't it? It is. Chicken shops are everywhere. Where and all for all these chicken farms. Great song from Beans on Toast, by the way. No idea what I'm talking about. Just Google Beans on Toast chicken song. Oh, this 12% is fucking hitting when I'm talking rambling about random folk singers that I follow. Ooh. Oh, I tell you what, I think I've been a bit hit or miss on Brew York recently. I got their pumpkin one in. I didn't quite squeeze into the pumpkin round, and I've only got 2 pumpkins in. I was going to get a third, and it didn't quite happen. So I've been a bit hit and miss on Brew York generally. This is definitely for me a hit. It's not the best 12%. It's not the best Imperial milk stout, but you kind of forget it's a milk stout in a way because it's just kind of fairly smooth. It's a little bit there's a little bit latte coffee going on with coffee latte. Is a latte coffee latte. I don't drink fucking coffees. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but yeah, there's a little bit of latte kind of thing going on without the coffee note. There's not a strong coffee note to it with all those dark malts in there. But it's very, very nice, very drinkable, and it's basically like, yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of breadiness in there as well. A little bit of like, yeah, kind of Nutella on seeded batch. Ooh. Oh, that is basically a cup of cocoa for the beer world. Like, I'm with Harry on that. Don't need any more than that. One of those good night sweetheart, to be honest. Yeah, very solid. There's a bit of saurine in there as well. So there's some kind of raisiny notes going on, that kind of malt bread kind of thing. Yeah, I like Brew York spider diagrams. So that basically goes from heavy on the sweet mouthfeel. I don't know how they describe mouthfeel particularly, and heavy on the malt. Obviously, no hop, no real bitterness apart from a slight kind of dark chocolate bitterness. They've only gone 1 out of 5 on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I've only gone 2 or 4 out of fruit. It feels like there's a bit of kind of coffee bean fruitiness going on in there. But yeah, really, really solid Impy stout. I'm doing lots of lip smacking because there's lots of flavors in there. Fine, there is a bit of fruitiness in there amongst that kind of cocoa note. Yeah. Check out the Suffolk Viking popping up in a stream is always an absolute delight, much like this beer. I feel that Jack Howard is an Imperial stout. If he was to be compared to a beer, I feel he's a big. Doesn't happen very often, but he just sort of marauds in with a big spirity edge and a massive sucker punch. Yeah. So that's you, Jack. Cheers, man. Nice. Yeah, so I was going to talk about Art and Craft in Croydon, Rasco's local bar as well. I picked this one up from, and I was over there the other week for less than celebratory purposes. I won't go on about it, but yeah, Rasco obviously dragged me into his local for a pint of London Black, of course, and I saw this on the bar and picked up, the other one I did on the other stream. If I get round to actually linking that, I will do. But yeah, a really, really nice Impy stout. That kind of cinnamon is there. Like I say, the coconut unusually feels like it's there. That kind of sugar strand desiccated coconut thing going on. A little bit of donut from the kind of cinnamon roll thing. Lovely sweetness for me anyway. A little bit too sweet probably for some people. Very merest chocolate, thin chocolate spread. Merest bit of coffee. from the dark malts. I'm good. I'm going to sit back and enjoy that for the rest of the evening. I'll probably just drift off to sleep because I'm fair knackered now. And yeah, get a good 8 hours sleep and get to work in the morning. It's going to be okay. But also, it feels like it's not going to kick my ass in the morning. It feels like I'm good. That's just like it's like a slightly alcoholic cup of cocoa. I've had cocoa for years, if at all. Ovaltine maybe back in the day, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed that for a Tuesday night, or 12% on a Tuesday night. It's pretty banging, to be fair. It's nicely balanced across all those flavors, across that kind of sweetness. Yeah, really, really good. I mean, that's a good finish on a Friday night, let alone a Tuesday. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, I've been wanging on for far too long now. You can tell when I'm enjoying the beers. Going an hour and a half. I normally try to keep it an hour, but really nice. Sounds a solid, nice, gentle school night impy. Yeah, I've got another one coming up. Whether I do another one next week, tomorrow night or not, I'm not sure. If I get it sorted out and put up in time, I've got the pictures ready. But I've got another 12%. I've got a Belgian 12% of a completely unknown origin. So I might put that together with some other beers that I've been given. And if I get that away tomorrow night, if not Thursday, and if I do, I've got another one lined up for Thursday, because why not? Because then Friday I'll just be at work all evening, and Saturday I'll be at work all day, so won't really get to do anything over the weekend. Might do on Sunday if I can. But yeah, and then we're all the way through the week. But yeah, it's a nice impy for a midweek. And tell you what, it's keeping me warm. It's pretty cold today down here in northwest London, but yeah, it's nice and warming, fireside kind of. Yeah, not overly spicy with the cinnamon, but it's thereabouts. And just really, quite frankly, delightful. One of the best impy stouts I've had for a while, to be honest. Yeah, another one tomorrow night if I get around to actually working out and putting it out. Probably one of the best Brew York beers I've had for a while, and I haven't visited them for a long time. But yeah, proper solid, proper decent, very very drinkable. I'm going to sit back and consider that for the rest of the evening, and hopefully, probably sleep very very well tonight. So yeah, thanks to you guys for popping in and joining us and having a beer if you had. Thanks to Harry Blue Nose Beer Reviews. Go check them out. If you haven't already, if you're watching this after the event, go check all these guys out in the chat. And let me know what you're drinking if you're watching this afterwards, tomorrow, maybe or the day after, because it always amuses me when I don't do it for the views, but the views kind of stagger up afterwards. So if you're looking in and you get to this point and you see maybe you're fast forwarding through all the crap and all the waffle, and maybe you're using the chapters. Always put chapters on if I can. I might not get to do that till tomorrow night, but yeah, if you are, yeah, Blue Nose, go check them out. Thanks very much indeed, Harry. Cheers for popping in. Good on Mr. Wilson as well. Thanks for the reminders. Can balance. Jack Howard, as always, thanks for looking in. Yeah, if you're watching this after the event, do let me know what you're drinking and do the comments and stuff like that. And there's something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, Spenno, go check out Spenno at the Spencer Arms, both on here and on Instagram as well. And hopefully that live stream will be coming up soon. He said, yeah, let's do some live stream. Let's do 1,000 sub special live stream, because I never did one for here. I've got one lined up and I've never quite got around to it, so might be a joint one with Spencer at Spencer Arms, and we'll find some good beers to drink. And if I don't see you before, have a good week, great weekend, enjoy the beers, and yeah, be nice to one another. Good night all, cheers, and enjoy the beers. I've been disco of and just disco beer review, or whatever I call it, previously or after the event. Might change, no idea, who knows. See what happens. Cheers all. Happy damn Tuesday night. See, if StreamYard had got their shit together, I could immediately have played the outro in there. As it is, I've got to go and bloody find it. Let me do. I tell you what. Let's do this. Let's go out on this. Change that there, and then we can do the outro. It's there somewhere. Oh no! See, I can't. I shouldn't be allowed to operate a YouTube channel. I mean, StreamYard after 12% MP. There, no video file. There it is. Because I've got to go and find it. I downloaded the outro again so I can find it. But yeah, I'm a disco of just disco beer reviews. Cheers and enjoy the beers. In stream.